This is Tuesday, April 26th. There are 85 days until San Diego Comic-Con 2016. Welcome to SDConCast, the official podcast of the San Diego Comic-Con unofficial blog.
V-A-N-U-H-T-E-E, go. Oh my God, I love Live Journal and my Live Journal knocks me around.
Good evening. I am your host, James Riley. Joining me on the podcast tonight, Kerry Dixon. Psych. There's no Kerry tonight. We're all sad.
Oh.
All right. Also, Ben Kucharski, the bald and the beautiful. I probably used that one before, but Kerry's not here, so whatever.
I love it.
All right. And Kim Twombly. I'm so upset about Kerry not being here that I didn't come up with a nickname for Kim.
That's okay. Hi, guys.
And Robert Warner's Legionnaire. That's all you get on a day where Kerry's not here.
Hey, that's quite all right.
All right. So we'll start off with news today. We'll be answering questions after the news and after we discuss parking. So if you have any questions, there's a Q&A on the Google+, YouTube, whichever one it's on. I don't know. I never remember where it is. Or you can tweet us, SD_comic_con. Use the hashtag SDConCast, and we'll be answering questions in probably 20 to 30 minutes. All right, so let's get into it. Robert, why don't you kick us off with the big news that was released today?
Yeah, sure. The NECA toy manufacturer released their first exclusive today in honor of Alien Day, which is 4/26. And actress Kerry Henn from the movie Aliens actually did the reveal for her character Newt. So you'll be seeing that at NECA. They'll have no word on price yet, but that's something to look forward to.
Yeah, and they basically just revealed it. She's like, "Hey, look at this is a cool new toy," and then over subsequent tweets, it's like, "Oh, this is coming in July at San Diego Comic-Con," and then NECA clarified that it's basically kind of exclusive, where they're going to make it available online at some point, probably during the show. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, it looks really good too. So that's a really cool toy. Figure. Sorry. Toy, figure. Doll. I don't know.
Never doll.
What are we calling them these days?
I don't
Okay,
think
so
doll's never okay.
doll's never okay. All right, so also in the news, Comic-Con clarified some of their badge policies, kind of went into a little more detail. Between now and tomorrow, if you were the one who physically purchased badges during either pre-reg or open reg, make sure you log in if you need to change your address. So you can change that until tomorrow, if it's different than what you input. So make sure you do that if you have to. Another thing that they clarified was the RFID cards that ship with the paper badges. So if you saw the badges from WonderCon, it was the typical paper badge with a new RFID badge in front of it, the Batman art. So what they're going to do is they're going to ship those to you in the plastic. The badge, the paper badge with your name and everything, and then the RFID. The RFID has no name or anything on it. So you have to make sure that you keep those together, because when they send them out, apparently they have linked your RFID badge to your name. And so if you have 3 badges delivered to you, don't take out that tag and start playing around with it and then put them back, because if something goes wrong, if they decide that they want to check ID, or if your badge doesn't work and you go and check ID and your name on the RFID is not matching your name on the paper badge or your ID, you're going to have a problem. So don't mix them up. Don't take them out. Unless you're the only one that's in the house, then you can take it out and look at it. But be careful. So that's mainly it. Those are the 2 big deals. If you need more information, we have a post on the site. We'll put that in the show notes. So next, Kim has, I think, a bunch of off-site news as it starts to flow in as we get closer to the show.
I know, it's beginning. And just wanted to go over a few things that are already on sale. So earlier this, Monday, or Sunday, I guess, Sherlock DCC was announced for their, I believe it's the 4th annual one, returning to the Central Library area. And that's hosted by the Baker Street Babes, and tickets will go on sale this Sunday on brown paper tickets, so we'll be tweeting out those links. HopCon announced a few more of its details, and people really love that. I wish I had. We can never go because it's the same. It's always been the same time as our Enchantment Under the SDCC party, but I would love to go to that some year. So they're going on sale on May the 4th, and tickets for that are 1 second. I had it. $75, and includes, I think all the beer you can drink and a bunch of free stuff. And the Sherlock DCC tickets are $25 to $75, depending on what goodie bag level you want to get. And then there's also just, still on sale. Wootstock went on sale. Chris Hardwick announced his Idiot Tour, as well as 2 shows like last year of Nerdist Podcast Live, which people always love. So he's back at the Balboa Theater Friday and Saturday. And, we also have the San Diego Symphony doing music from Final Fantasy one night at the Symphony Hall, and also the Legend of Zelda returning, which my husband went to last year, and he really liked that. So got those 2 shows during Comic-Con. And then people love I think Sega was doing the 25th anniversary of Sonic event at the House of Blues. And there's already 750, almost 800 people attending now. But tickets are still on sale for that. And you can find the link at my site outside Comic-Con or on the blog event list for all the tickets that you could ever want.
All the tickets.
For all these things. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff coming up, and we're looking forward to hearing Funko Fun Days we should hear about soon, and I don't know, there's so many, but more to come, lots more to come.
So many. Yes.
Yes.
All right, so Robert, is there big news about the hotel wait list?
Yes, the big news is that there's no news for the wait list.
So exciting. There is actually zero news.
There's speculation on when the wait list might come out, but nothing has come out set in stone as far as when people can expect to see those emails.
Yeah, one of our readers actually called On Peak today, and On Peak told them that they have no clue when the waitlist emails are going out. Now this is the infamous On Peak phone rep who typically gets zero information from the upper management, it seems. So we don't know how legit that actually is, that no one knows when they're going to send them out there. It's logical to guess that they are going to happen after the 30th. The 30th is the cutoff for a full refund if you cancel. And that is, when most people are going to be canceling by. So why start a wait list now if you don't have a majority of your rooms that are being canceled until next week? So the guess is that it's going to happen sometime after the 30th, but there is no guarantee as to how soon after the 30th, or they may just decide to start tomorrow, and who knows. So we'll see how it goes. But don't expect anything until May. I think that's about it. Ben, was there any news that you caught that may be what people are looking for? I know that there was some Funko announcement today that some people are thinking might be coming to Comic-Con.
Is this alien related?
No, I think it was Dragon Ball Z, was it?
I don't know anything. I'm terrible. I know nothing.
Yeah, the Dragon Ball Z Funkos, Wave 2 is supposed to be, they're scheduled for July, so, maybe there's a good chance we'll see it at San Diego.
Have there been lots of Dragon Ball exclusives in the past years?
Dragon Ball Funkos, there's been a couple in the past couple years.
All right, so maybe they'll do something for that. So, all right, so that is basically it for the news. I think the Newt news was really the big stuff this week so far. I mean, we still have 3 days left in the week, so who knows what's going to come. if you there's a lot of little bits in Under the Tents as usual, which we just published the latest one today, so you can go check that out. And so now let's get on to the other major thing that's going on, and that is parking. We've actually been dealing with parking for the last 3 days. The email sign-up ended on the 24th, and they started sending emails out the very next day, actually, for people who were successfully getting into groups 1 through 6. Most of those went out on the 25th, and which was yesterday, which seems like so long ago. But today, just actually in the last hour or so, the rejection emails started going out. They don't seem to be going out quickly. We're not sure. They could still be sending them. But they did promise on their FAQ that everyone who sent in an email would get a response, whether they got into a group or not. So we're also finding that a lot of people are having their email go to the spam filter, so make sure you check that. And if you don't have an email after the 27th, they said they would get all emails out by the 27th, which is tomorrow. So if you don't have an email by tomorrow evening, then I would say you could contact ACE to figure out what's going on. I wouldn't bombard them right now because they're probably still sending out emails, but after tomorrow, definitely there's a email on their website, on their FAQ. We put it also on our parking post that we published today, which lists all the prices and the lots and the locations and such. So what else is there? Who wants to go over with the groups and how all that is running? Someone raise their hand. No one? Someone? Oh, Ben coughed.
Nope, that doesn't count.
Oh.
I fly in from Arizona. I couldn't possibly answer questions on this.
No, Ben, you get to talk about parking the rest for the next 5 minutes.
Okay. So I know.
No, I'm just kidding.
I know that there's cars. I know you need places to put them. That's all I got.
Just stack them on top of each other.
So they did all go. So they did this morning add to their frequently asked questions the list of lots. I don't think you said this already. Maybe you did. And some of the prices, I think some are still TBD. Actually, they've updated it since I last looked. So there's more prices. I think they're waiting for the Padres to do something. But some more price. James, did you do a comparison? They're up a little bit from last year.
They are. Some are, like the convention center, and any of them that were $15 last year are now $20. Any of the 20s are now $25. Most of the expensive ones pretty much stayed the same. It was odd one day at one of the parks, one of the parking lots. I think it was 701B or one of those. Actually went down $5 on Sunday only, which was weird. But yeah, if they updated it since we posted our post, like what was it, about 2 or 3 hours ago. We'll just update it again with the new prices because about 3 or 4 of the parking lots were TBD. There's 10 lots on the list where last year there was only 8, so they've added 2. The gas lamp and the 701B, I think, are both of the new ones, or the 770, one of those number ones. Yeah, so basically the group sales start on May 2nd with Group 1. You have 4 days, from 9 a.m. Monday until midnight on Friday to purchase your parking passes. Each email can purchase 1 pass per day. Once you are done purchasing, you're good to go. You don't need to do anything else. As you get into the group, so if you're in Group 3, you're going to be in the 3rd week. It's just 1 group per week. Even though you can only buy for 4 days, they're not having any sales run from midnight Friday until 9 a.m. the next Monday. So Group 3 would be whatever date that would be, May 16th, I think it is, on Monday at 9 a.m. So we're expecting the convention center to sell out probably in Group 2 at some point, like it did last year. They have just as many spaces. They're probably doing it exactly the same. Everything seems to be running the same. The only reason why it may not is if some people in the group 1 and 2 actually want to get something parking somewhere else. That's the only reason it won't sell out in group 2, which may happen. You never know. That's what happens when there's things that are random. So they also announced in the rejection email that public on sale starts on June 13th, or at least it's planned to. This is where they sell online everything that is left after the groups 1 through 6 go. So last year, almost every lot had at least one day available except under the convention center. Now at Bayfront, it was like Wednesday only, but you will be able to get parking in the public online sale after the groups are done. Will it be the best parking? Depends on what you want. Will it be under the convention center? Pretty much guaranteed no. So you will get something. We don't know what. There's more parking than last year since they added 2 lots, so we'll see how it goes. And I think that's about it about the parking. Is there anything else that we need to, any other questions we've had about parking? I know people still haven't gotten emails.
Just for what it's worth, I did want to note, as someone who drives downtown a lot, even if you don't get the convention center or Hilton Bayfront, it's almost easier to get a parking lot that's closer to the, slightly closer to the freeways, so you can get in and out of your car, in and out of downtown easier, and then just do the walk to the convention center. Not always works if you're carrying, a bunch of swag, but it's so easy just to shoot into Horton Plaza and then walk, 10 minutes to the convention center.
Make the decision based on what you do at the con. If you buy tons of exclusives, get as close as you can, because you don't want to carry those around all day, especially if you don't want to do the check service that, however much they charge for that in the lobby. So, yeah, get close. If you don't buy a lot of stuff, if you just hang out all day, get one of the further away ones. Maybe it's a little cheaper, maybe not. But you don't have to deal with getting into all the way down to downtown. And like Kim said, you get out quicker. Just make the decision based on what you're doing. If you are going and you only got a badge for Thursday and Friday, let's say, and you still want to go down on Saturday and get parking, buy parking for one of the lots like the Padres Park Place or something like that, or Tailgate Park, because then you're going to be right in the middle of all the off-site stuff, and you can just immediately walk to anything off-site because you don't have a badge that day. Just make a decision. Make a decision based on what you're doing at the con, not on I have to be as close as possible. So, there you go.
Yep.
All right. So, someone on Twitter is the one with no live feed. It says we're live, and we have 13 viewers at least, so who knows what's going on? I don't know.
See what happens when Kerry isn't here?
I know. We're just going to blame Kerry for all of this. It's all Kerry's fault. She's probably listening right now or watching right now going, yep. Actually, she's not. She's probably out having fun or doing something because she's on vacation. She shouldn't be watching this. Okay, so we are now going to answer some questions. And let's start off with, which one do we want to start off with? Let me go look. We're going to start off with, well, a tough one. The exhibitors who take advantage of early access on the floor in the sales pavilion to buy exclusives. And what can Comic-Con do about this? And they already do what they can, which is limit the people walking to and from in the aisles. They have a lot of security out there keeping people and asking them where they're going because they have to be going from somewhere to somewhere, like a specific booth. They basically can't do much more than that because if an exhibitor is going to allow people to line up before the show is open, then the exhibitor is going to do that. And I don't know what they can do, what Comic-Con can do beyond telling them not to and then just watching them do it. I don't know what real power they have to do that. I mean, are they going to kick them out? Probably not. I mean, what do you guys think? What the options that they have?
Well, it's important to note that it's not just something that happens at Comic-Con. We hear about this at a lot of conventions where there's major exclusives.
Right. Exactly.
And it all lies with the vendor, I think. And if they allow their sales team to sell before the floor opens, then that's not really fair to everyone attending.
No. What about Ben? Have you you've gotten in line to get exclusives, right?
I have, but I'm kind of choosy. I don't do Hasbro, I don't do Mattel, but I've done Funko. I've done like lines where like booths give out tickets and things like that first thing in the morning for autograph signings and things like that. And it's really difficult because I've had times where I've been like the first person in line for a particular line, and you get there at like 9:01 and there's nothing left, and you're like, how is this even possible? I mean, if you've ever stood in line to get into the exhibit hall, and you waited overnight, or you got there super early in the morning, and you know that you're very, very close, in the line, and then you walk through the doors, and you see that, there's already like 1,000 people on the floor. It's like, how is this even possible? But it's possible. It happens all the time. Like both of you guys said, or Kim and James said, I think that Comic-Con does its best to try to limit it, and they want it to be as positive an experience as possible. It's not a place for exhibitors to sell to exhibitors. Yeah, I mean, like you said, what are they going to do? Kick people out? Probably not. But I mean, I think that maybe some specific instructions for security and whatnot could definitely be beneficial. These people can't line up for things, but I mean, again, everybody can handle their booth how they want to.
Right. And one of the ways that exhibitors kind of cheat the system without the vendor they're going to purchase from really knowing that they're doing it is they will have an exhibitor badge and they will have a regular badge. And what they'll do is they'll be hanging out close by with their exhibitor badge because they're allowed to be on the floor early. And then as soon as they hear that the show floor is open, they will switch their badge to a regular badge and run up like, hey, I was first in line. I'm running up here to get my stuff. And so when other exhibitors are doing that, and you see that, and if you're able to be on the floor that early, if you're another exhibitor at any point, and you see that happening, I mean, it's really upon the exhibitors to police themselves when they see that happening. If you see someone flipping a badge like that, then you need to. Apparently, we aren't live, so for some people, but you need to. You need to actually have the exhibitors policing themselves about that. But other than that, there's really nothing you can do.
Exactly. I mean, you kind of want to. You have to ask yourself, what is the point of what the exhibitors or the retailers are doing? And I guess their goal is to sell things. They are there to sell their merchandise. But I mean, again, I don't know. I think that they probably have philosophies on how things go. Do they want to sell out by 9 a.m. to people who've been in the exhibit hall for 10 minutes as opposed to sell out before the person who's been sleeping on the sidewalk has an opportunity to get something that they really, really want? I can't imagine that's something that they want to do. So, I mean, I would say that they really do need to take it upon themselves to keep their customers and their fan base happy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, until someone figures out what can actually happen, I'm not sure. Especially Comic-Con, I'm not sure what they can do. So, it's kind of a bummer, and we'll have to figure out ways to do it. And if anyone comes up with a solution that's going to work, make sure you go to talk back at Comic-Con and let them know, or send them an email.
Yeah.
So let's also go to now a question we got on Facebook. Eric Zabrowski wanted to know just what getting a press badge means at Comic-Con. what kind of access do you get, what kind of interview opportunities, and things like that. So, which of us has gotten a press badge at Comic-Con before? I have.
Not it.
Me.
Not it.
Okay, so Kim and I. So Kim, why don't you start us off with what the typical thing is, the extra that you get?
The extra, you get on their mailing list, which is what Comic-Con gives out to, I think, anyone who asks for it, be it small media companies, large media companies, vendors. So we get all those emails when they determine what they want to send. This goes for WonderCon as well. It's kind of both of them. And during the show, they'll have those roundtable opportunities. I've actually never been to one. Sometimes you can't get in. It just fills up so fast. And it's also just not what I do, because I do outside events, so I don't need to interview TV personalities. But that's people kind of enjoy doing that, because it is kind of close quarters, it seems. We've all seen the videos from those roundtables. They're kind of fun to watch, because you're just sitting right there kind of chatting with the celebrities and asking them questions about their show or movies.
Right.
What else do we get? With Comic-Con, we don't get early entry. People have to wait in line just like everyone else. So nothing like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, really the list is 2 things long that we get. 3 if you count the emails. So we get the free badge, but we're supposed to be working, so it's technically not free because we're working during the con.
It's a lot. It's a lot of work.
And we get the emails. We're on a press list, and we get the possibility of getting into press rooms, which in the 4 years or so I've had a press badge, I've gone to 1 press room. And the thing about the press rooms is you have to decide whether you want to do the panel or the press room typically. And sometimes you have to decide if you want to do 2 or 3 panels or the press room, because you have to wait for them to show up, and then you have to do the interviews, and then you have to, do whatever report or file that you need to do. So if you're gonna be like one of the interviewers, of the reporters who goes in and talks to every TV show or movie that's there, that's your job as your TV reporter. You're going to basically be in that press room as the panelists just filter through all day long. But you have to ask for access to every single one of them. I think only a few people, and usually it's people who work for Entertainment Weekly and sites and magazines like that, who can just go almost wherever they please. But for sites like us, we have to actually request access to every single press room and hopefully get it. But yes, so we don't get early access to any panels. We don't get guaranteed access to any panels. We have to wait in line just like everyone else. And with the exception of the press pit that they have in Hall H off to the side, and off to the side in Ballroom 20 the last time I was in there a couple years ago, with the exception of those 2 press pits, there really is no designated spot for press either, and that's standing room only. So it gets you, I mean, obviously one of the main benefits is, yes, you get a free badge, but there's give and take on it, so it's not like this wonderful, awesome thing that gets you everywhere. That would be the all-access badge that very few people have. Those are the badges that you would want, but I think you have to work for Comic-Con to get one of those. So, do we have any other basically, this isn't a question, but apparently the tweet that we just sent out that we're live is the only one with a link that's working for this podcast today. So hopefully it records and we can, save it. But if you're watching, thank you, because there's almost nobody watching because I think all the links are broken.
James,
But hey, hey, look, Kerry's not here. You know, we're just gonna wing it and hope that things don't actually burn down. That's
Right.
basically what's gonna happen.
Hey, James, I'm going to send
So
you a link that somebody just sent me that is working.
that is working.
So we'll
All
have
right,
that.
I will tweet that out as soon as I get it.
It's kind
So
of
let's go ahead and does anyone? I don't see any other questions. So let's someone make up a question and then answer it.
Someone, M. Nelson, just asked who is sitting in the media press section of Ballroom 20. Are there seats? Because I think those are probably like the Entertainment Weeklies, right?
There actually, if you're talking about the reserved seating, that is for the panelists and their guests.
Right.
That
Yes.
is the only designated seating. Those are the green things
Right.
that are usually over it.
Studio people, go in
Studio,
there.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, family members of panelists and studios and people putting on the panel they're actually, as far as I know, because I haven't been in Ballroom 20 in a couple of years, there is no actual press seating. There's, like I said, that press pit up near the screen on the right that you can stand in, and so you're off to the, all the way on the side near the screen, so you see everyone sideways. But no, as far as I know, there is no actual press seating. Let me tweet out this link though for YouTube while you guys discuss more.
Well, we're in luck. There wasn't, aside from parking being the current thing, there was not much news this week. But it's coming. I can feel it.
in non-Comic-Con related news, which is never something we want to discuss here. Today, Funko released pictures of their Alien Pops, which go along with the anniversary of, or I guess, Alien Day.
Alien Day. Happy
Yeah.
Alien Day. I got my little face hugger.
Alien Day. Oh my gosh, that's so terrifying. And so there's a Ripley and there's a 6-inch, I guess, Queen alien, I believe, and they look really, really cool.
Doesn't someone have a face hugger here today?
That was me. I just held it up.
You did?
It's so
Did we see
cute.
it?
It's so tiny and adorable.
When you make it adorable, I just don't even know what to do with that.
Right? I mean, it's a face hugger. It's the most feared, crawly thing ever. I mean,
Well,
I think
the name
this came from a Loot Crate.
yeah, the
it's
name
adorable.
is pretty benign, like a face hugger. Like it just wants to hug your face, but that's not really what it wants. That's not what it wants at all.
right? No. Well, it does technically want to hug your face, but not gently,
No,
and not for any nice reasons.
no, it's
No.
it's foreplay.
So there's quite a few questions on the SDConCast hashtag on Twitter.
I'm gonna go look.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go look.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
John Castile asked us what influenced you guys to move away from paid admission for the blog party.
Oh, that's a good one.
It is a good one,
Sure.
and really answer what?
If I can answer truthfully,
How honest? How honest?
we were tired. It's a lot of work to put on a party for 300 people that costs $20,000, and I don't think we can do that every year because it's just us doing it in our spare time. So we may do it again, but we're not doing it again this year.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the amount of, besides like work and talking and voting and effort and just everything that went into the process. I mean, you guys, we talked about this like all day, every day for like months.
Yeah, for like 3 months.
Yeah, I think I still probably have nightmares about it. So yeah.
Well,
but
and mission. Go ahead.
Oh, but like James had said, that could be something that could be awesome to do like every other year or every third year. But every year, that's a bit much for me.
Yes.
You know, coming from somebody who was on the outside of it last year, it was great. I had a great time at it.
Cool.
Yay! Oh, thanks.
Yay!
And Mission Brewing it's a great place. And always recommended you visit when you're in downtown, even though it's a little bit of a walk. And they're trying to put a stadium over it, which
No.
I don't like.
Yeah.
But they were great to host us, But nice to be returning to Henry's again, because they've always been so good to us as well, and
Yeah, and like
it'll be fun.
And as a non-native, San Diego person, it was really neat because, you go to Comic-Con for Comic-Con, but then after you finish your day, you're always looking for a really cool place to eat or get drinks, and, you pull it up on a map or Yelp or just whatever, and there's like restaurants and bars as far as the eye could see. So it was a really neat chance to find a place that I probably wouldn't have otherwise, and I would probably visit again. Like, I want that hard root beer all of the time.
Right?
Tasty.
I can't believe I only got one glass of that. That was so good, and I'm like, and of course San Diego's 2 hours away from me, so I could go down there whenever I wanted and get it, but it just was so much cooler when I was there and it was open bar.
Exactly.
So let's see what one of the other questions we can answer is. Here's a parking question. Omar Hassas asks, if I'm in Group 1 in Parking Lotto, will I get Convention Center parking? I would say you are virtually guaranteed to get it. I don't think that they put more than 1,000 people in each group. I mean, we don't know the numbers, but there are 2,000 spots in the Convention Center, so I'm pretty sure you're going to get parking if you're in Group 1.
Nice.
It didn't sell out until Group 2 last year. So if the same thing happens this year, Group 1 should be able to get it.
And I know that as a non-parker, I don't necessarily pay as close of attention, but we've always had really good experiences, right? For the most part, the parking sale goes really well.
Yeah, well, it didn't go so well 3 years ago.
Gotcha.
When the system crashed, and it took some people the entire day just to get in to be able to buy their parking spaces, which is why they went to the lottery system because, hey, we crashed another system. It's another year at Comic-Con, whatever. So yeah, that's why it went to the lottery. But since last year when they went to the lottery, the system has been very smooth. Okay, so Omar also had a question about Loot Crate. Do you think they'll do exclusive boxes this year? And if so, when will they announce it? Did Loot Crate usually do exclusives? I think they do.
I think they did 2 last year.
Okay, so most likely they will, and they'll probably announce it a little closer to the con. When they're putting these things together, if they're doing it with other vendors and licensors, like if they throw things from different people into one box, they have to wait for all of those people to be finished. So they really can't announce it until everything is definitely getting made. So they may not get announced until closer to the convention than some other exclusives like the Newt that was announced today, because that's one figure. They're making it. They just make it, and it's theirs, so they can announce it whenever they want. So the Loot Crate ones may get announced later than other exclusives. Another Michael Pea, I think, MICLPEA on Twitter says, easy solution for the exhibitors selling early is to give people in line cards that they must present to the exhibitors in order to be able to purchase. That's a solution that may work. I mean, they do give people cards in the ballroom 20 everything line, but then I think those are just for like general knowledge of where you are in line. So they can hand things out. It's just whether or not everyone would get put on the same page to use those and accept them. I mean, if they had forced it and made them do it, then it might be something that would be a valid option. Let's see, what other ones do we have? So this
I
one
got
is
one.
really. Oh, go ahead.
James, what's your favorite color?
My favorite color, my wife asked me this, and I try and change the answer every time, just to be obnoxious.
I like it.
But generally, the answer is blue.
Good to know. I want to see a pie graph with what portion of the population picks blue, because I pick blue.
It's probably a lot of people.
All right, I guess
it's a pleasant color.
It is. It's very pleasant.
Okay, so John Castillo, JohnCast47014433 on Twitter asks, what are each of the four of you hoping to see this year at the con? Star Wars, Marvel, DC, what? So let's start with Ben.
Oh my God. So here is, I'm just gonna share about my life. My life has been super insane. My job is very different than it was last year, and I have not had the time or the energy to devote to Comic-Con, unfortunately. But I'm looking to change that very soon. And so I haven't had time to think about any of these things, which is terrible. I can say that I'm a TV addict. I love TV. I cannot get enough. And so the Orphan Black panel is always a blast. And really just any TV show that I love is something that I want to see exclusive footage from or new cast members. I love pilots, all of that stuff. And then Marvel, love Game of Thrones, love Walking Dead, so all the big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back this year.
Yay!
Robert, what about you?
I'm kind of in the same boat with Ben. I'd love to see Marvel return to the convention. But something out of the box that I'd like to see is the Goonies reunion. I know there was one scheduled. I don't remember if it was last year or the year before, but it ended up getting canceled. But I think a Goonies cast reunion would be pretty awesome to see.
That would be awesome.
I would love that. I remember it was scheduled for, I believe it was this year and Indigo, and I was thinking, oh, that's too small a room. It needs to be massive.
Yes.
Hall H.
Yeah.
Definitely. That would be a fun one. Okay, so Kim?
The first thing that popped into my head was that we've got Star Trek coming out, I believe, during the convention.
Mm-hmm.
So there won't be a sneaky advanced screening, but I would love if we just got some sort of screening with the cast there. Maybe there'll be a panel too, but an offsite thing because that's what I do. That would be so much fun. Like how Captain America premiered and that was early, but that was a lot of fun with the poster giveaway and I
That was a big deal.
I need some Star Trek stuff.
They screened that like all day, right?
No, it's just one screening.
Just one? It just felt big. Maybe it was multiple theaters.
And
I think it was.
Yeah, and I want to change my answer. No,
Uh-oh.
No, but when I think back to Comic-Con things that I have attended in the past that were the best or that were the most memorable, I loved seeing a screening of Saw with the director and the star before I'd ever heard of the movie, before anybody had any idea what it was going to become, and walking out of there and being like, what did I just see? And then at the same time, the Scott Pilgrim screenings were amazing. The whole cast was there, the director was there, Metric was there. I mean, I was losing my mind. It was so much fun.
So you were one of the ones who got the lucky pin?
I was, and that was
That's
amazing.
sweet. That was awesome.
And then I had friends who weren't the lucky ones, but I think it was the next day they did a couple screenings or whatever, and I think they got everything except Metric. So that's awesome.
That is cool.
Yeah.
All right, so I have to answer this, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Actually, with the announcement this week, my answer is now Twin Peaks.
Oh.
I want to see a panel for that and have it be a reunion / look what's coming next kind of thing. I mean, let's be honest. If they brought 10% of the cast that was announced, it's going to be a massive panel.
Yeah.
Because they announced something like 217 cast members or something like that.
My gosh.
So it's going to be crazy, and that actually is something that I really want to see at Comic-Con. I think that would be incredible.
Yeah, and I think that it's such a cult phenomenon, so it's like the perfect environment. But I think it was last year or the year before when the Blu-ray was coming out, they were supposed to have a ton of the cast members there, and that didn't really happen. So
there was rumors, and then there was the whole, are they making a new one or are they not? So I think a lot of that probably played into whether or not they were going to do something. But I'd like to see it happen this year. Okay, so we have a question on the Google Plus from M. Nelson. Why do you have the party on preview night? I haven't been able to make it in the last few years. We do it on preview night because that is the night that is easiest for people to attend more than the other nights. There is just, as Kim will attest, there are a massive amount of things going on every night. And preview night is just the night where there's the least going on. Maybe Sunday night, but then everyone's so tired, they'll just be, falling asleep, sitting around, drinking a beer, and then, like, passing out from exhaustion. So preview night, we just feel it's a good way to get the convention started. Not everyone gets preview night, but they're in town anyway. We think that it's, just a good way to start the show.
Yeah, and I really feel like a really diplomatic answer is there's no right night. If it's Wednesday, it interferes with something, Thursday, Friday, etc. So I mean, yeah, there's just no right way to do it.
And we like it being a kickoff where, and it's a place where your once a year friends that you only see at Comic-Con, you can come, like a lot of you guys, you can come see them, and it's a great way to start the show for us.
Yeah, believe it or not,
For everyone.
the party is sometimes how some of us who all work on the blog, the only chance we get to see each other at the con, because then we just split off and do our thing. And we may talk, over Twitter and everything else and all that, but sometimes the party is the only time I see some of these people. It's kind of crazy to think about.
It's true. It's like a nice commitment to see your friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because if you go to enough conventions, you'll see this pattern emerge. There will be people when you go to a convention each year that you will see 50 times, and the other 90% of the people you will never see. It's just how things work out, and I don't know, it's some weird Comic-Con rule or something. So, M. Nelson also said, if you don't get parking, I recommend Joe's Auto Park that you guys told us about last year. It was less than $10 and right next to Declan Sweet's shuttle stop. Now, this is a good suggestion and also brings up another point, and that is the online sale for parking is not the only parking available. It's just the most convenient way to get parking. If you want parking and you don't have it day of, show up early enough and get in line, and you can possibly get parking. Ace even says on their website for the online sale that some of their lots have day of parking available. It's limited, and you have to get there really early to get it, and they have the hours for their drive up on those lots. So you can check that out. But there's plenty of parking throughout downtown that isn't necessarily part of the online parking sale. So there are options. I mean, come on, there's the trolley. The trolley has free parking on some of the farther away stops. You park there, you ride in for a few bucks a day, and as long as you don't need to have your car there to take stuff back to, and you don't plan on staying until 3 a.m. when the trolley probably isn't running as often as
it's not running at 3 a.m.
or running at all.
Running at all.
Then, I mean, take the trolley in, take the Uber back. Who knows? I mean, there are options that you can pick. You're not, like, stranded not going to Comic-Con if you don't get parking during the parking sale.
And I'm sure we did a post last year about public transportation and other options, so I'm sure we'll post something closer to the convention as well,
right,
going over all that stuff.
So let's see if there were any other questions. Oh, look, Beth Riley on Twitter asked James, Olaf or BB-8. I do not have to choose between white bulbous sidekicks. I choose them all. There.
That's a really good answer.
So diplomatic.
Yeah, hey, I mean, how do you choose between Olaf or BB-8? Really?
I mean, there's the hug factor. Does BB-8 get hugs?
That's true. BB-8.
Oh.
Yeah. Is he getting closer to the? There we go. He's taking up. Look, he's replacing me.
They both make me so happy. That's just all that matters.
Yeah, our heads are the same shape. Maybe that's why I like.
It's like looking in a mirror.
All right, so I think that that is it for the questions. Unless anything pops up really quick, let me check our mentions here.
Yeah,
See
and
what's going
and
on.
if we do another Q&A episode, I think we promise to be live.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, we are live. We'll just not mess up the links.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Hey, I blame Kerry.
I do
So,
too.
yeah.
She deserves no vacations.
She's gonna be like, I'm not taking any more after this. After seeing this train wreck.
This debacle.
Poor Kerry. All right, I'm just going to continue. So we've talked about it a few times tonight, but don't forget Enchantment Under the SDCC returns to Henry's Pub this year, preview night. Entry is free, as we've mentioned, but
Get there early.
we'll support the venue by buying your own booze and food.
Yep.
And Kerry is working on fun giveaways, and we're working on fun, our swag and that sort of thing.
All kinds of cool stuff. We hope. So Kerry, as we mentioned, is on vacation. She won't be here next week. Ooh. Whether anything explodes while she's gone, well, I think we know the answer to that. Explosion
We do know the answer.
chances increased greatly today. But we'll see how it goes. Let's pause here for a second and let's answer one more question from John Castillo again. What was the biggest surprise for you all over the years at the con? Also, just a thought: Tron Funko Pops, wouldn't that rock? Yes.
Yes, that would be awesome. If they ever had a light up feature, oh my gosh, that'd be amazing.
Oh yeah.
I think you just gave him an idea.
Darn it.
In one sentence, since we're here near the end here, what is your biggest surprise at the con? Start again with Ben.
Oh, I don't. I pass. I don't know.
Pass. Robert.
I've been racking my mind here. I don't have one. It's just the whole thing is a blur.
You know, I'm going to answer for someone else. I'm going to answer for John Castillo. His favorite surprise from last Comic-Con was Conan Bingo. He loved it, and he came to our party, and he was awesome. I got to meet him, and he was amazing.
There you go. Kim.
What was the question?
What was the biggest surprise for you
Ever?
through all the years of Comic-Con? Like, ever at Comic-Con?
What pops into my head is the Tron Flynn's that doesn't exist anymore, that building. I wasn't expecting what we walked into. And I had missed it the previous year, so I think the year I went was the last year they did it. And it was amazing.
I always think it's absolutely astoundingly amazing what they're able to pull off in those little spaces in like no time at all. And even like the building wraps and the trolley wraps, like these things exist and then they don't. Crazy.
Yeah, and go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Another one that pops into my head was the Dexter ARG. That it was like a creepy building that they used, and they set up a murder scene that had some clues in it, and it went over Twitter. It used Twitter. You used clues that you found on the sidewalk. It was this whole thing, and I kind of forget what happened to it, but it played out over the course of the convention and even afterwards. And there hasn't been any really good ARGs recently. That would be really neat for someone to do again.
That would be fun.
Hint, hint.
You have 3 months. Go.
Go.
So what I was going to mention is it feels like, to me, remembering it, the Tron Flynn's Arcade was the first really immersive off-site event. Is that right? I mean, because that was about 5 years ago, right? And they've gotten a lot bigger since. And it just feels like that one was the first one that's like, yeah, let's just go all out and make basically a piece of the movie as an off-site event.
And I think they even the games that were there were even the ones from the movie and all the props. Because it was like you walked into an arcade and you're like, oh, look, it's an arcade. We can play games. And then you're like, oh, the door is opening further. And then seeing the movie, a year or so later, you're like, I was there.
Right. Yeah. So I think that one really was like the pinnacle of this is how to do an offsite, and everyone's been trying to do things similar to that since. But for me, I'm going to go with the most recent one that everyone probably can already guess, and that's the Star Wars concert and everything along with that Star Wars panel. That was probably the biggest surprise in all my years of Comic-Con. So that was a pretty big deal.
And the fact they pulled that off, too, that was amazing.
Right.
They're very sneaky. So hopefully we can look forward.
The super sleuths at SDCC unofficial blog couldn't even figure it out.
Curses.
We're going after it this year. We're going to try and find them this year. They probably won't do anything. We'll be like searching for something that doesn't exist. All right, so let's continue with closing. Robert, I think you're up next.
Yeah, so next week's guest is Jimmy J from J Company Comics, as well as Amazing Comic-Con. Amazing Comic-Con, I think it's 5 different cities, mainly in the West Coast, so he'll be on the show next week talking about his experiences at San Diego.
Awesome.
That's fantastic. And then it looks like we are teaming up with Uber to offer an Uber code, SDCCU blog, for $20 off, or up to $20 off your first ride.
Yeah, that's cool. If you haven't used it before, it's really convenient in an emergency, or if you just plan around it, you can have that one time you need to be driven somewhere. It's great. All right, I think Kim's next.
Oh, yep. And so you can sign up for our newsletter. The information will be in the show notes. I forgot I wasn't subscribed, so I resubscribed. So it's great. You get news weekly. Nice little recap of what's been going on for the week.
All right, Robert.
And for more news about San Diego, as far as like who's appearing, who's got tables, just check the site at and under the tents column. We'll have a lot more information for you.
Sweet. All right. Yeah, that's the best one for all the little tidbits of information. Like you mentioned, artists, where they're appearing, what their artist alley table number may be, until it gets officially announced closer to the convention. All that kind of stuff all goes in the Under Tents, which is coming out 2 or 3 times a week now. Pretty soon it'll be 2 times a day. So.
Crap.
Yeah.
Enjoy this while you can.
All right, so thank you all for joining us on this Kerry-less podcast, and we survived to the end, so congrats everyone. Thank you all. Join us every week as we bring you news, opinions, special guests leading up to San Diego Comic-Con 2016. Robert, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at Legion of Sand. So Kim, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
And I am Outside Comic-Con on Twitter and Facebook, and OutsideComicCon.com for an events list on the web. That's pretty and visual. And how about you, Ben? Where can we find you?
On Twitter at HelloBK. And James, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
I am everywhere on the internet at Dan Regal, as it says on the little thing down there that only you watching can see. And you can check out geekshotphoto.com, where my wife and I post pictures all the time on social media, and all of our links to social media are there. Beth obviously posts way more than I do, and they're awesome, so go check them out. All right, so we are on iTunes. If you'd like to subscribe, the links are up on the blog, or search for SDConCast. If you like what you've heard so far, please review us. Don't take this show into account when reviewing us, please. We are also on Stitcher Radio. The link is in the show notes. If you want to get a hold of us, you can send us an email at sdcomiccon.blog@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/sdconblog, or tweet us at sd_comic_con. Thank you all for listening, and everybody, go
Shawarma.
Train wreck.